Well, welcome back to the Gritty Glitter Badger podcast, where we lift hard, we live loud, and we do all the messy, chaotic work of getting stronger inside and out. And I'm Krista, host and Badger in Chief. And today I have somebody who I absolutely love and adore, and she is a powerhouse and also is my partner in all things feral as fuck. So Heather Ransom is from Nourish and Lift Up. And if you want practical coaching that actually fits real life and somebody who's going to call BS on all thing fad diets, Heather is your girl. And she's not just any girl. She is a Jersey girl. She's married, a stepmom, grandma, and a proud fur mom to Rory and to all of us we know as Coach Rory. And she has founded Nourish and Lift Up to help women take control of health and fitness without all of the overwhelm. And along the way, Heather has lost 60 pounds, but she's done it the hard, consistent, honest way. And through that process, she has fallen in love with lifting, CrossFit, the structure, and then now she holds NASM certifications, Precision L1 Nutrition Certification, CrossFit L1, and she's a First Form advisor, love First Form. She advises inside the app. She's also an ambassador. And with Heather this year, she is calling it her year of doing hard things. And she's ran her first half marathon. She has crushed High Rocks in New York City and CrossFit comps along the way. And for me, she is living proof that consistency beats quick fix magic pill stuff any day. So, Heather, I am super stoked to have you on the podcast today.
Oh my goodness, what an introduction. Thank you so much. I know we are
She'll be available for autographs later.
okay, good. We are feral partners in crime.
Yes.
And fun fact, this morning I was wearing my Badger tank to the gym.
Oh, yay.
Yeah. So I was trained back in arms in my feral tank top.
Just
So
like
I absolutely love it.
digging into that energy. So tell us, like, what was the moment for you that you decided, okay, I'm done with quick fixes, or this, that's not the way that I want to go about this. And, you wanted to make real change. How did that come about? Was it like something small, or was it like a bigger aha moment for you?
Honestly, what I can say is so my daughter, my stepdaughter,
Mhm.
Destiny, graduated high school in 2019. Now, I had been going through some health issues. I am a breast cancer survivor, so it is 10 years, so 10 years cancer free for me.
Yay.
I know, it's awesome. I can't even believe it. Time flies. I was diagnosed with epilepsy. And my husband and I went through IVF treatments. Well, when you go through a slew of health issues,
Hmm.
I hence probably where my weight loss journey really truly started because I saw photos of graduation day and it was extremely eye-opening for me
Yeah.
that I was unhealthy. And I was like, I remember saying to my husband, I'm like, all right, something's got to give here.
Mm-hmm.
And then we met our mutual friend, Sam. I did not realize she had had a fitness business at the time, and we had met through church, and we got along right away, as well as her sister Jess. And she had a fitness group called Bloom Flourish Fitness. Sorry, I'm trying not to butcher that, Sam. Anyway,
I think she'll
and
forgive us.
I think she'll forgive us. And I signed up for one of her Zoom classes on Saturday, which was a live class. And I was like, all right, you know what? Let me give it a try. I had been doing a lot of workouts from home and I love to go walking and hiking. So I was like, what do I have to lose? And her thing is 15-minute workouts.
Yep.
And it honestly, it shifted my mindset. She actually did a program called Ditch Diets, Choose Joy. And I
I
had
remember that.
realized that I was doing so many wrong things just to lose weight quickly.
Hmm.
Because just in general, as Americans, we're very impatient. Like, we can Amazon Prime things in like
Oh,
2 hours now.
oh yeah, it'll show up later that day.
You're right,
Yeah, it's
exactly.
amazing. I got it.
So once I kind of went through her program of that, it kind of released me from food noise. And I had finally stopped labeling foods good and bad.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's to anyone. My husband Dwayne had called me out on it, and he was like, "Oh, let's go out to such and such place." I'm like, "Oh, I
Yep.
can't have that." I'm like, "That's bad food." And he was like, "Do you realize how often you say
Yep.
that?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" He was like, "Babe, you have foods listed into categories, foods that you can have that are considered good
Yep.
and foods that you consider bad. And you can't have them." But he said, once you have them, he was like, "You can't stop yourself." So it took a long time for me to kind of heal, my relationship with food. And once
Hmm.
I started doing that, I realized I'm like, all right, it's just time to go back to basics. I'm not going to go on this new fad diet that was in Us Weekly magazine. And no offense to that magazine, I love my hot topics, but I was like, you know what? I just need to eat well most of the time,
Yep.
still leave room for, the fun foods, and then move my body. And once I started sticking to that and being consistent, that's when the weight started coming off. And
Yeah.
it
The
didn't
switch.
it didn't come back. It was a switch. It didn't happen overnight. It took a lot of work. I worked with Sam for a while. I started CrossFit. I started gaining muscle, panicking a little, but that's okay. And then I started working with a great nutrition coach. Her name is Shelly. She's from Macros Inc. And that just kind of solidified and kind of wiped away my bad relationship with food
Yeah.
and just finding and falling in love with exercise. I was
Yep.
never that athletic person. I was, the girl who would like rather sit down and read a book. Obviously, I still do that, but now I love waking up and going to the gym.
Yep.
I'm a morning girl. It sets my tone for the day. And then, I take things from there. So, I mean, it's taken me a very long time, but I finally feel like I'm in a great place. And hence why I started my coaching business, because I was
Yep.
like, all right, I want to pay it forward like the people who were in my life that helped
Yep.
me so I can turn around and help others.
Support other women. It's funny, the diet thing. I was talking with somebody yesterday, another guest, and she's, she's like, I called her the carb queen because she is helping women not be afraid of carbs. And I had said, that in terms of food and diet I was so scared of carbs. And when I was training as a CrossFit Masters athlete, I was so carb deficient. And my coaches suggested I work with the nutrition coach. So I worked with RP Strength one-on-one. And I'll never forget the first time they set me up. And like my low carb day was like, it was like 200 grams. And I was
Mm.
actually like terrified because then a high carb day was 275. And I was like, there's no way. I'm like, it's impossible. I'm like, I can't eat that many carbs. I'm like, it's going to have adverse effects. All of these things are going to happen. And they're like, we understand, we get it. They're like, but for what you're doing, because I was working full time in education at the time. and then 3 to 4 hours of training, you know, and all of that.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to trust the process. And I did. And they said it'll take about 2 weeks until you're going, you know, consistently. And I checked in all the time, like to see how things were going. And my training, I mean, like we talked the switch, it was like a switch. And everything, like that, just my generally having the energy to do things, and then to watch the gains I made in training was like ridiculous. And even mentally, I felt full, if that makes sense to you. And so I love, you know,
Absolutely. Yes.
yeah, talking about that. You know, there is this diet culture, and it is in those magazines. I mean, you know, for me, when I grew up, it was the Cosmopolitans and the Vogue and the teen magazines, and everything was about, you know, about not as skinny. It was like and how to, like, you know, models, this is what I eat. Now it's fitness, what I eat in a day. It was like the
Yes.
models in the magazines, or it should say what I don't eat in a day, and things like that. And so that's a real mental mess up, you know? And so what was something that surprised you about what it felt like, whether it was mental, physical, all of the above, when the weight started to come off?
I think for me, it kind of clicked and I was like, okay. And this is kind of hence where the name for my company and kind of my company tagline is nourish your body. Okay. And I was like, you know what? I'm tired of this. Like I was tired of chicken breast and this and that and all the other things.
Yep.
Because you know, you
Chicken
don't
breast
have
and
to.
green beans, baby.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. And cottage cheese. Um, I started having fun with food again. I started falling in love with food again. And I realized, you know, for both of us, we're similar in age.
Hmm.
You know, during the 90s, if you weren't pin thin, then you weren't pretty enough.
Nope.
And that was a huge toll, especially to women even our age now, because it's just so ingrained in your mind. But
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
actually loving the movement of women going into the gym, eating, you
Yes.
know, and people forget that your body needs carbohydrates to function, to
Yep.
fuel your body. That brain fog you feel, girl, you better like eat some potatoes and some rice
Yep.
and whatever else that you can, because your body is essentially crying out for food.
Yep.
You
Yeah.
can only go for extremes for so long. And my thought process is, and when people come up to me and ask me about different diets, the first thing I say to them is this something you can do for the rest of your life?
I love that. The sustainability of it.
Is it sustainable?
Yep.
Now, for me, I happen to count macros. And for those of you who don't know macros, you know, it's your macronutrients. So it's your
Yep.
proteins, your fats, and your carbs. For me, I like that. It's like putting together a puzzle. Is
Yep.
it for everyone? No, but it ensures that I am getting each allotted food group that I need to in
Yep.
order to train.
Like, you
Um,
know, you're hitting baseline.
exactly,
And that, you
exactly.
know, and it's like, do you ever, I, because I'm actually like, I will go for periods of time, because I've been, you know, and you have too. I've been doing this for so long now. And then sometimes I won't, I'll only measure my protein to make sure I'm getting my protein. But now I'm like, okay, now I'm back to where, like, and it's not obsessively, but I'm measuring all of my macronutrients now. And I'll do that for a period of time. And then I'll be doing my protein again. But do you, and I've come across this, I think, and maybe, you know, and again, we work with women, so I can only speak on that. A lot of women think they're getting what it is they need, but the minute you help them with their macros, if you help them start to weigh their macros, they're like, oh my God, I thought I was getting what I needed in a day, and they are so far, but it's particularly protein.
Yes.
Have you come across that? And then what are like maybe 3 easy things that you would help somebody with if they've never measured macros? Because it is overwhelming at first. I remember the first time I started doing it and I was like, "Oh my," I'm like, "Wait, what? How many?" This is equivalent to, because I weigh in grams. Some people do ounces, and I'm like, "Oh my God, like I can't
I
math all this right now."
I know. I
So, what
tend
are
to
3
weigh.
easy things you would do with clients to begin that process?
So normally when I start working with a client, I don't hit them with macros right away because there's 3 things that I want them to focus on first. It's moving your body in whichever way you want. Because my philosophy is if you hate running, guess what? Don't start running.
Right?
Find,
Yeah.
like you got to find your
Yes.
niche. Like I
Yes.
fell in love with CrossFit and weightlifting,
Yep.
and that's what I do. But for someone else, they may love Pilates or yoga.
Yep.
That's awesome. So you're gonna eventually, find your niche. Always try new things. Um, Make sure that you are drinking enough water. I can't tell you how many people they're like, what do you mean I should probably
Yes.
drink about 8 glasses of water? I'm like, girl, your iced coffee does not count.
That does not count. Yes. Yeah. Dehydration is a huge problem. I think like, and again, now I'm trying to remember back, 75 to 80% of American adults are consistently chronically dehydrated daily.
Yes.
That's
Isn't that crazy?
insane. And because like if you're just 2% dehydrated, it literally starts to affect your cognitive function. It affects your ability to like your perception, your ability to make simple choices, things like that. Fatigue sets in. So you're all like your balance it at 2%. And so if these individuals, just yeah, hydration, that is such a key thing.
Yeah. And then I tell people to start finding more fruits and vegetables that they love.
Yes.
So it's my thing is start adding things in. I don't like people taking things away right away.
Ooh, I like that.
And it's just for the sheer fact of I went through seasons where I was so restrictive that it was damaging.
Yeah.
And it every once in a while it pops up. So, I'm fortunate. I actually do work with a coach in the first format. I'm a big advocate of yes, even coaches need coaches. And
Absolutely.
she's a well aware of my background. She's awesome. She's tough, but she's fair. She's like, listen, we're humans, and I like taking that approach because this is my when I start working with a client, I tell people, you're just going to need me for a limited amount of time. I'm going to give you the tools
Yep.
to eventually where you get to the point where you no longer need me. And they're like, well, what do you mean? That's why I don't offer meal plans. Like, I don't believe in doing that. Like, I could tell people, okay,
Yes.
eat this, this, and this. But essentially, it's not teaching the everyday individual how to put it together themselves.
Yep.
So, you know, and I always tell people, especially women, to prioritize protein. And I'll say, okay, well, then, all right, let's start tracking your protein. So it's like I try to get them at like one macronutrient at a time. That way it doesn't quite feel so overwhelming.
Yep.
And, for some people, they can't track. It's just too much for them. And they just have such an unhealthy relationship with that that's okay too. Or, and in that case, I'll say to people, all right, do me a favor then. If you don't want to track, then you have to send me photos.
Yes, let me see.
And just kind of let me see so I can kind of gauge of where you're at. And, that way each individual is going to be okay.
Yep. I love that because it's like too, when you were talking about Sam and then her BFF, the Bloom Flourish Fitness, I I I feel like in the world of fitness, sometimes there's this, I mean, like, look, you're too, you and I are like of the same mindset. Like, it's like, dude, if it's gonna suck, I'm in. But that not everybody's like that. Okay. Not everybody
Same.
has that kind of a mindset. Like this is going to be hard. And yes, I'm doing it. But it's being able to meet people where they're at. And like Sam, the 15-minute workouts at where you were in your life, that met you where you're at. And I feel like if it had been something that wasn't like that, you perhaps maybe not, you wouldn't have stuck with it. So it's just like meeting people nutritionally. Like if somebody says, look, that whole macro thing and doing that, if I have to do that, I'm just, it's not going to happen. So it's like, okay, so I'm going to meet you where you are. And I can totally appreciate that. Just send me pictures. Sending a picture now is so easy. You snap your
Yes.
phone and it's just right to you. And it's like, okay, we've got this. I can meet you where you are and I'm not going to overload you any more than you already are overloaded in your life, especially women, with all of the things that we have going on and different, the kids and, the families and all the things. It's just feeling like there's one more thing. I'd mentioned yesterday to the guest, it's like women, I I feel like we want to be able to control as much as we possibly can. And if you're
Oh,
giving
yes.
us something and you're throwing it on top of what for us could be chaos and we can't control that, well then I'm already out. I'm out. So that I just love that, you being that the flexibility of meeting people where they are.
I mean, and that's important because, and listen, not everyone is going to understand my way. It's finding the right person to work with.
Yes.
Um, you know, there are people that were a client and I realized that we weren't going to click, but I knew someone that they would click with
Yep.
and vice versa. And, it's helpful to have those contacts with people. And, if someone's telling you as a coach to do something super extreme and you're feeling like you're not agreeing with it, then
Mm-hmm.
guess what? They're probably not the right coach for you. There are companies out there who are very predatory and
Yes.
they just care about your money.
Yeah. It's the, like, how many people can I get? What's my quota? How much can I get? Like the money grab. I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, so if that's what they're concerned about, then that's not the right company
Yep.
that you should be working with. And you'll kind of be able to gauge it. And I think that's why I appreciate working with companies like First Form. It's like their tagline is, I'm gonna totally mess this up, but it's, helping helping real people, and it's essentially you're educating and working with people. It's not just about supplements. Yeah, sure. Is it
Right.
great that you buy supplements from me? Sure, but
Yeah.
that's not my main goal. My main goal is to make sure that you have a healthy relationship with food and exercise. And that's what I like
Exactly.
working with them because that's a company that has integrity. They
Yep.
care about the people, not just the product.
Yep. I did a whole
So,
podcast on, I talked about, I think it is important. A coach is somebody who's working with you, not just handing you stuff and telling what you, and I tell people all the time, I'm like, you should question me. You should be asking me questions. You should, if something is there and there needs to be a modification, like what I have written, my programs, that's not Bible. that's a guideline. And if I get offended because well, that's not okay. There should be an open relationship. Like you're learning from me, but at the same time, I need to be learning from my clients as well. It needs to be this just, organic copacetic relationship where we can talk about things. And if you're with somebody, like you said, and you can't do that, and it's then they're not even there. For me, I think for the correct reasons. And, I love first form, I'm just going to be first form all day. But how do you create, like, if you have clients and they come to you and, they just feel like they have a lack of discipline to stick with anything, whether it's nutrition or training, or that, how do you help them begin to create consistency then that fosters the discipline for life on the daily and training?
Okay, so a question that I get asked often is about motivation. They're like, how do you have the motivation to get up every day? I'm like, this isn't about motivation. You're
Yep.
going to have motivation for the first day or two of whatever type of program or lifestyle change that you have. That's where consistency and discipline comes in.
Yep.
And, I have intake forms so I can kind of see where people are at. And there's all sorts of different questions on there. But the first thing is when you're filling that out, I don't want to hear, oh, I just want to get healthy. Wrong. Okay.
Yep.
Like we need to do a bigger deep dive.
Yep.
And I tell people, I'm like, I want you to answer honestly. I don't want you to put answers down that you think I want to hear.
Yes.
And then we have that discussion because I kind of need to see where people's mindset are at, what they're looking for. And we have a conversation of, okay, what is your true reasoning behind this?
Yep.
And a lot of it, and I'm sure people have heard it, it's called finding your why.
Yep.
And that's going to constantly change throughout life. When I first started, mine truly was about getting back into healthy habits and creating that better relationship with food. Now that I have that, my why has changed.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter just had a baby in February, and I am a grandmother now.
Yeah,
And
you're in the club.
I'm in the club, and she is amazing. And, I want to be there for the both of them.
Yep.
And, I'm very fortunate. I mean, at this point, he's like my son-in-law, but, I want to be there for them. And I don't want them to have to worry about me. And I say that, God bless my grandmother. She's 96 now. I had to
Oh
think
my
about
God.
that for a minute.
That's
Now,
amazing.
it is amazing. It absolutely is amazing. And because of her being, I can't think of the word, sedentary,
Oh, yeah.
and,
Yep.
and just not moving around, she was losing muscle mass. And now it's having to work with physical therapists and
Yeah.
things like that. I don't want to have my children worry about things like that. Like, I want to be able to continue this and be able to walk up and down the stairs, without assistance, or be
Yep.
able to carry groceries in, or different things like that. That's my current why. And
I love
I
that.
see my parents and, my aunts and uncles, they all rotate. And, obviously it's, their mother, my grandmother, and, they're taking care of her. But, she was self-sufficient for quite a significant amount of time. So I want that for me as well. So
Absolutely. Yeah, the longevity, but not like that, the typical, like how our society portrays stages of life. You know, it's like, look, what I just even think now, the 40s and 50s are totally different, you know, and like how I know how people in their 50s when I was younger looked, and this isn't like me being arrogant, but they didn't look like me. And if
No.
it was some rare one off, like, well, holy bejesus. Now, you know, it's more prevalent, and that I just don't want to survive through life. That is not what it's about for me. I want to be as vibrant and vital and effervescent as possible. And it is possible. You know, David Sinclair had said it, that aging in and of itself is a disease. He's like, the human body was never meant to be like that. It's all of the things or lack of things that we aren't doing that cause. And, you know, it doesn't have to be so degenerative or this, okay, well, once you hit 60, now here's what happens. And then you hit 70, and then this is what's supposed to happen. It's like, no, I mean, it's going to be on my terms in the way, like you said, the lifting and things like that. And I want to get into, because this, you with your year of hard things and stuff, the half marathon. Now, am I correct in assuming you just didn't like running?
I'm not a huge fan of it. No.
I know that was another reason why you and I connect, is because that's running, long distance running is not my jam. And so you did a half marathon
Yes.
to, let's talk about that. I would love to know the mental aspect of while you were training for it, because physically I know you'll do it. You'll do it if your right foot's falling off your body, and and I get that, because it would be the same thing, you know? It's like,
Oh,
oh, it's just a
absolutely.
limb. I'm like, if I have to drag myself army crawl over, I'm gonna do
I'm
it.
fine. Yeah,
Yeah, don't even
exactly.
worry about it. Mentally, what was that experience like for you?
Okay, so I remember I had done 5Ks previously, and most of them were for charity and stuff. And,
Yes,
I
yep,
was like, I can do those. I can do those. But then I had saw that it was this past August that there was a 10K race in Jersey City along the water line. And if you have been in the tri-state area, it's the Jersey City waterfront is absolutely beautiful. You get to see the Statue of Liberty, you get to see the New York
yep.
City skyline. And I was like, all right, let me do that. And I was like, so I asked and I put in my CrossFit group, I'm like, hey, does anyone want to do this with me? And my friend Erin is like, you know what? Why don't you just do the half? And I was like, you know what? Maybe I should. And silly me,
It's like,
because I
okay,
love punishing myself, I sign up for the half marathon. Now, before I
totally
ran the
understand that.
marathon, yeah, I know it's peer pressure
Uh,
and peer pressure in fitness. If you don't
right?
understand,
It's like
yeah,
inside you're like, no. Then you open your mouth and like, okay.
yeah, I'm like I had an out of body experience, and
Exactly. Was that me?
was that me that said that? But then once I put it out there, I had to do it because
Oh yeah.
if I'm gonna set myself up to do something, I'm gonna do it.
Yep.
Mentally, honestly, it is probably the best thing that I could have done for myself
Hmm.
because when you are training for a marathon, whether it's half or full, I did actually, I don't know why I did this to myself. I'm actually now going to be training for a full marathon, which will be in
Oh
April
my God.
again in Jersey
I
City.
love it. I am finally going to do the 50K. I wanted to do it, but the training, we had talked about this, and I need to set myself up for the freedom to be able to. So I'm going to do it next
Yes,
October. I'm
that's
going to do the
awesome.
50K trail run. And, you know, like you said, it's, oh God, but okay, let's
Yeah,
go.
once I put it out there, I'm like, all right, let's
Yeah.
go. I said I was going to do it, so I'm going to do it. And that's kind of where integrity comes in. But
Yeah.
mentally training for that was the best thing that I probably could have done because it literally just flipped my mindset. And I realized I'm like, you know what? I can do this.
Yep.
And it's pushing yourself to a different level that you didn't think you were capable of. And that's what running
Yeah.
did for me.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
and I'm sure people, there are people who absolutely love to run. It's not for me.
Nope. I
You know,
admire them.
I have a bigger build, and I mean, I'm not huge, but and I have a naturally bigger build and I'm heavier
Yep.
on my feet.
It's like
So,
dragging, like this, and this is true and funny at the same time, but literally my lower body is most of the weight of my body. So you're
yeah,
just basically running with like weights the entire time.
exactly, exactly. So, I had gotten up to my longest run before my half marathon was up to 10 miles. So, I did scale back on CrossFit during that time.
Yeah.
And I was doing runs 3 to 4 times a week. And then I would, pop into CrossFit because I don't care, no matter whether you're running or what, you have to still incorporate strength training,
Oh
especially
yeah.
for women 40 up. We need that for our bones and obviously so much more.
Well, don't you feel like
Um,
that still helped you out though? Because I did the same thing. I followed a run strength training program when I trained for my 25K trail
yeah,
race. And like you said, again, it was backed off a bit, but I feel like if I had just straight run, I would not have had the gains running had I not still maintained m- lifting weights.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Still doing your strength training while you're even training for a marathon is absolutely imperative. You have to do it.
Yeah.
And it's about scheduling and even watching some of the higher ups at First Form, they're really into high rocks right now, and it is the popular thing.
Yeah.
And they actually did a YouTube video on it, about training for the Boston race, and they were still heavily incorporating a lot of strength training because you
Hmm.
need that for sled push and pulls, and
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
you need that endurance and strength to put yourself through that whole race. And I'm not giving up strength training because I absolutely love it.
Yeah. Same.
So there's never going to be a time where I'm just not going to lift weights.
Yep. I mean, that's the roots. That's my roots. It's your roots. I mean, I
Yes.
can't, I can still, it's weird how even when I think about the first gym membership I ever had, and they had downstairs was, so this is the 80s, and they're like, think about Jane Fonda. There are those women at the
Oh
gym that were
yeah.
in those things, right? But downstairs they called it the dungeon. And it was a cement block room. It was dark. And it was like where the serious lifters went. And I mean, it was just bare bones basic with like
Yes.
barbells. It had chains, big plates, and I can still smell what that smells like in there and seeing that and seeing girls. And I'm like, oh, and I didn't even know what they were doing. I'm like, what is that? And just so it will always be that consistent thing in my life, always, no matter what.
Yeah. So I definitely recommend, and it doesn't have to be running, but find something to challenge yourself.
Yeah. That scares
And
you.
that scares you. And
Because were you
that did
scared?
absolutely like that. And it
Yeah.
was funny because my friend Reiko, she's amazing. She came to cheer me on that day. And I know my friend Miranda would have done the same, but she was actually moving that day. But I digress. And I was literally doing the check-in and I like wanted to puke my guts out. I
Ah,
like
I know.
I had such
Like, what was
performance
I
anxiety.
thinking? Yes.
Um, and it ended up being like a beautiful day. And I was lucky because it wasn't too hot and we had the breeze from the right off the water.
So nice.
And I remember just doing part of the run, just like watching the New York City skyline, Statue of Liberty, and you get nostalgic and
Yep.
for me, I'm such a sap. I teared up a little bit, while I was doing that. And I'm like, this is why I'm doing this.
Yep.
Because even though I'm in pain right now, and by the time
Mm-hmm.
I was done, my hips,
Oh,
my lower back, my feet, like
yes.
I was done. And my friend Reiko was like, Heather, are you okay? I was like, no. She was like, are you going to
No.
be able to drive home? I'm like, yes. I'm like, I'll be able to drive home. But
And
because I
that's it.
was,
That's all I'm going to be able to do.
yeah. And I'm not gonna lie, because I always have integrity with stuff like this. On my way home, I stopped at McDonald's. I swear to God, that was the best Big Mac I have ever eaten in
It's,
my life.
it is the truth. We made because we went. I stayed where because it's like it was like 4 hours, 4 hours away, Oil Creek, however far, and so we had a little cabin. And it's funny because our alarm didn't go off when we set it. And I'm like, so I got up at 6 instead of 5. I'm like, literally, I'm in the car eating all the oatmeal and stuff, and I met
Yes.
the people that I'm like, oh my God. So race time. And before we left, I'm like, I made pizza dough. And then we got back and Tate, my husband, cut homemade made fries, pizza. And I'm telling you, that, like you said, that pizza, those fries, all of it. It was nothing will ever taste as good as that ever. Is the best I ever had. And it's not any different.
No, it's
It's
not.
just
But
the whole experience after it.
yes, I think it's like
Yep.
the victory,
Oh,
post-race victory.
yep.
And exactly. I've done Spartan races and done like the same thing. And I remember I had talked my friend Miranda into doing the 10K, and we did the same thing. And she was like, girl, this is amazing. I was like, isn't it? I'm like balancing French fries and
Ah,
driving and drinking my Coke and but you know, it, so it's, about having
yes.
those moments with other people, then that's absolutely amazing. So the year of hard things, it really set me up for success this year. And especially like in this fourth quarter, this is where people are like, okay, it's hoodie season and
Yep.
it's the holidays are coming up and people
I'm
tend to
just
be
gonna get the
lax.
baggy clothes or the whatever. Like, yep. Mm-mm.
Be me this year.
Yep.
And I just for right now, and I'm rolling with it. I'm locked in.
I love
And
that.
I just have just a really great mindset right now. And you know what? I'm gonna roll with it. That's always linear. You're gonna go through your ups and your
Yep.
downs.
Yep.
Right now I'm at that high. We'll see how I'm doing. I do have a CrossFit competition on the 18th,
Ooh.
um, partner WOD. So that's gonna
Oh, I
be,
saw your post. You guys were practicing.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
that's gonna be fun. So
Been on
once
a little
I,
hiatus from social media the past few days.
no, there's nothing wrong with that. I do
Yep.
that too.
Yeah, it's sometimes just has to happen.
It really, really does. And
Yeah.
so once I do that, then I'm gonna slowly, I think said for on average for marathon training, they say to give yourself like 16 to 20 weeks. Obviously,
Yeah.
if you're a pro at it, you don't need that
Nope.
much time, but still, I still consider myself, a newbie type runner. And so I'm going to slowly start incorporating more of
Yep.
that in, and I don't know, I feel ready.
I love
Feel
that.
ready right
Yeah.
now.
I know I started like for the 25K trail. I mean, with the rocking and stuff, I just started, God, I know I started in the winter and just taking a regular rock, and I would like do interval running. And then as
Okay.
summer got closer, I'd increase the time, like the miles and the intensity and the trails. And so I think I'll just do that. And then sprinting. Like I made sure I was doing some kind of a sprint, like whether it was hill sprints or just dashes, like once or twice a week. But it's like, God, there's so much I want to talk with you about. Just know you're coming back on in the future. There's no way because there's so much.
Anytime.
And I know you have, so you love like you're a foodie, and I know
Yes.
you have a Pinterest, like a lot of, and I'm all those details I'm going to put in the show notes. But what's the like favorite fail-proof recipe or meal hack that you love or that you would send your clients like, okay, things are going to be hectic. Here's some things that are going to help get you through that in terms of like quick hit foods and stuff like that.
So I'm an advocate, if you can, to do some meal prep.
Yep.
So for me, it's having fruits and vegetables readily available. I also, there's like certain things that I have in my fridge all the time. I have Greek yogurt. Hooked on Chobani pumpkin spice right now. It's my
Pumpkin spice.
go-to. I am that basic girl.
You
I love
are.
pumpkin spice. I can't
I
help
have a
it.
question about that.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so I always tell people, I do yogurt, and you know what? Not everyone loves it. I happen to enjoy it. I'll do
Oh
that.
yeah.
I always make sure I have different fruits and vegetables. Um, I bust out my crock pot. I will make sure whether it's chicken, I will shred a bunch up for the week,
Yeah.
and I have a couple of different sauces that I can use, to switch it up. And it's just being ready. Or is
Yep.
there going to be times where you're like, oh man, I can't get to this? We're lucky, especially in the US, where we have so much food readily available to us.
Mhm.
Like you can even go to Chipotle and figure out a healthier way to eat.
Exactly. Yep.
You know what I mean? And I have customers and clients that will send me, and they're in a panic, and I've been there. Like they'll screenshot the menu for me. And they're like, what do you think I should eat?
Yeah.
And different things like that. And it's just making sure I also make sure that I have protein powder available. That way I know I'm going to hit those goals. I try to hit 170 grams of protein a day, and people are like, how do you do that? It's planning, and it
Mhm.
just comes with practice.
Yep.
And it's just, you know, and try new things. Eating well doesn't have to be boring.
Nope.
Who
And
said
it's
it
not
has
as
to be boring?
complicated as it.
People complicate it.
Yes, you don't. It's not like this. Look. It's not the Food Network. Okay. Like that, if you want it, that's great because I'm a foodie too. Like I love to take in savory stuff, you know. But
Me
man,
too.
just that's for like a different, that's a weekend thing or
Yes.
whatever. During the week, and just yes, I do eat a lot of the same things over and over again. Maybe I'll just season it differently, or instead of cooking, like say maybe I will saute vegetables, and then another time I'm gonna do a big pan bake of vegetables in the
Sheet
oven.
pan. Oh yeah.
Just switching up how you do the same things, just a little bit of a change. And so pumpkin spice, I know you love it. And so I actually, by the way, just ordered, we got the pumpkin spice first form bars, the
Oh,
protein bars.
nice.
So
Yes.
never had them. So I don't,
Okay.
we're, those are coming in, and my husband with a apple pie. So I'm like, okay, like those are going to be the ones we're going to try because every once in a while, I love Greek yogurt as well. And
Yes.
sometimes instead of like, it depends, I will take the bars, like one of the bars, and I will chop it up into tiny little pieces and put that in the Greek yogurt. And
Yes.
yeah. So I'm
It's
like,
good,
okay,
right?
let's go. So, well, I'll let you know how that is. But if you had pumpkin spice like on one savory thing, what would that be?
Oh man. You know, here's the thing. I love pumpkin spice, but it's people taking it to a whole nother level.
There's some weird options of pumpkin
There's some
spice
weird
out there.
options. Okay, so I am exactly. So I love sweet potatoes, and my husband does
I
too.
was thinking that.
So you can take some of the pumpkin spice seasoning,
Yep.
put it on that,
Oh,
or with squash. You know,
oh,
I do love taking butternut squash or acorn squash. I roast it in the oven.
yep.
Sometimes I'll take a little bit of maple syrup, put that on, put the pumpkin spice on, you know, just to
So
have a
good.
little bit different. Um, I have the pumpkin spice latte protein powder right now by First Warm, and sometimes I will take half of a scoop and I will mix it in with my Greek yogurt.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Protein yogurt, Progurt. I love Progurt. I have that
I
all
do
day
too.
every day. Yeah. You could do pumpkin spice seasoning with sweet potatoes, and you could take a little bit of either chili powder or
Yes.
cumin, and it would just give it that not hot, but you're getting that, oh, ooh, what's this? Because it's
Yeah.
like sweet with that hint of like that warm hit. Oh, you know what? I just
Yeah.
might make my sweet potatoes like that tonight for dinner. That actually
I
sounds
do
good because
that.
I'm more like I like pumpkin spice, but I'm not like I love pumpkin spice. I need to like put a little something something in it, and the chili powder would be the thing to do it. So that's
That's
oh man,
yeah. Give it a try. You won't be disappointed because I do that.
I love that. So okay, if you could pick one superpower that makes coaching in life easier, what would that be and why? How would you use it?
Oh. Oh man, you're putting me on the spot here. My
Absolutely.
thing, all right, so my thing with coaching is it's all about communication. So being able to talk to people, I think, and kind of know what they're thinking
Yeah, I love
without
that.
having to pull so much. I mean, but obviously that's how you get to know people. But like,
Yeah.
imagine just being able to like have those answers like immediately right away because you already know what they're
Yes.
thinking.
Because not everybody's like forthright. Sometimes it's very
Yeah.
you're like literally what it like pulling teeth. It's just for whatever reason seems so if you had like a little like wand and like okay, let's just that would
Sprinkle
be
some dust over them and be like, all
exactly
right,
it'd be so helpful. Oh
you're
my
gonna
God.
tell me
Okay.
what I want.
If you could go back and you could tell younger Heather one thing, like one short piece of advice, what would that be?
Don't be afraid to go for it.
I
Don't
love
let
that.
fear hold you back
I love
because
that.
you're never gonna grow otherwise. And I didn't have that confidence until my 40s.
Yep.
You know, it's you got to take the chance because that's when the what ifs come in.
Yep.
So
And as
try
soon as
it.
you do the what if,
Yeah, the what ifs are the worst. Go out and try it.
well,
And you know
Heather,
what? Yeah, that's what it is. Just try.
just go and don't listen. Don't let anybody influence you otherwise unless it's supportive and they're
Yes,
empowering you to do it because there's
absolutely.
all kinds of support and not all of it is an empowering type of support that you get.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, you're going to be coming back on. I absolutely love this. I
We
could
could keep
chat.
going
We could
on
just
forever and ever.
oh, I know. We could just keep going. Like there's so much there's so many things I didn't even like touch on and but if this was so good and I know I love the not being afraid to share the mess. All of the that's real life. That's relatable. We all go through
Yes.
that, right? And we're not all it's not perfect. And and just reminding us that there's it's the small consistent steps every day that's what helps to create those bigger changes. So where can people find Nourish and Lift Up, follow your recipes, your program, and also like even just to see Coach Rory?
I mean, Coach Rory is
'Cause
awesome.
it's really about that. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, she's, oh man, that pity pouty face. She's something,
It's,
let me tell you, that
aren't
girl is
they the
something else.
best coaches ever? My
She really is. She loves to go hiking with me. Best way is on Instagram. So at Nourish and Lift Up, I do have links in my bio. You can find everything there. I do love coaching through the First Form app. However, if you don't want to go that way, I do one-on-one coaching outside of that. I just love the app because it has absolutely everything in there for you already. But that's going to be the best way. And then that way you can see I have different guides. Um, I give all of my new clients, when they start with me, a guide to macros, and it really just breaks everything down. And
Nice.
I try to keep it as simple as possible so it's not overwhelming. And obviously, everyone's going to be different. The mom who has 3 kids and works full time, I'm
Yep.
obviously going to treat differently than the person that's, single. So
Right.
I'm never
Yep.
going
Or
to
an empty
say to
nester.
that
Yep.
person,
Absolutely.
you
Yeah.
know what I mean? So
Yep. You
I
meet them where they're at.
meet them where they're at. So go through there, my Instagram, feel free to DM me. I love answering questions. I love chatting with people about fitness and nutrition,
Mhm.
and it's a passion project for me.
I love that.
And yeah,
Yep, and
so
I'll have all of your information. I'll drop that in the show notes. So if anybody, don't worry about it, Badger peeps, all that stuff we'll have in there and taken care of. You can get it. So if this episode lit something under you, and because if it, first of all, if it didn't, check your pulse. But other than that, I want you to save it, share it with a friend that you think would you find something, if there's one thing in it that you're like, oh my God, I think this is going to hit with you. And also remember to leave 5 stars on Spotify, because when I get those reviews and comments, that actually puts my show out there to more people to help support and encourage and create a community where we can all be feral like Heather and I and help each other. And hit the subscribe in YouTube, like it, leave a comment. And, this way you won't miss another. It's like a trailside walk that we're going on a ruck together. And we're just having these nice little chit chat conversations. And so, as always, thank you. Stay savage, stay kind, and Badger out.